Warning: the voices heard in this video are made synthetically using artificial intelligence. Nothing in this video reflects anything actually stated by the real-life individuals involved. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and serious political content will be avoided for that purpose. Enjoy.
It's time for a new Dragon Age cycle, Hold the Reapers. I'm here with the presidential boys, who are honestly all keepers. Welcome back, viewers.
Big Bar's Barry over here.
Well, it's a Barack episode today, so you already know to expect plenty of filler content, and for every NPC to find inner peace and clear bowels.
Normally I'd say you're exaggerating, but today's episode is going to be on the long side, so strap in, viewers. We are getting right into it today by love bombing Bartran, with the 50 gold and the Grey Warden maps all at once.
We definitely did some hyperbolic time chamber training since we last saw him because our fit, aura, and pockets are far different than when we last met.
A good game would give us the ability to hop right into the Deep Roads expedition, but if you think Dragon Age 2 is a good game, you're in for an unfortunate surprise because welcome to the railroad, choo-choo.
Damn, it's been a while since you've pulled that one out of the vault, Donald. But now that we have Bartran's word, he will give us a fair share, I see. No reason not to invest in his crypto Deep Road scheme.
Dwarves have historically always been open and honest with us. I can't think of a time in Thetis where they stabbed us in the back.
Entrance into the Deep Roads.
These might be just what we need.
What's this? 3, 4 entrances into the Deep Roads, all in the free marches? Where'd you get these?
A wizard did it.
All right, I hate the healer robe, but that was a decent dad joke from him, I can't lie.
That line was clearly written by Gator because that was the most Awakening Anders line I can think of out of Vengeance's mouth.
I guess Bartran has to spend all the money we just gave him while we handle a little bit more plot. I might not be a businessman, but should we be getting a business plan on what our investment goes towards 50 gold is a lot of money.
Maybe to you two poors, but 50 gold is just equipment costs. It's not even enough to hire one robe slave from the Robe Emporium. Anyways, what's on the agenda now that the main quest is already taken care of?
Well, as Hawk's talking to himself here shows, we still have 2 main quests to take care of, being shepherding wolves and Act of Mercy. So I will take both of those on at some point, but first we have to take care of a few side quests that honestly should be main quests for how story relevant they are. That includes The Way It Should Be, The Bone Pit, and The First Sacrifice. But for now, let's focus on owning a business for ourselves, boys.
Hubert is a far better businessman than Bartran is. He sees us as a worthy dude with a Sigma grind set and gives us a sweet deal. All that being said, though, I wish owning the mine actually had some gameplay impacts, like we could invest money to improve the output or design of the mine, or actually decide how the business should be run. We have the technology. If we can create a business empire in Fable, why can't we do the same in Dragon Age 2 with some passive income?
I feel like if this game had passive income, it could easily crash the economy in this game, and then all the unique items like the Fallen Star Ring would be meaningless. Although if they just gave us enough things to spend our money on, maybe that wouldn't be as big of a problem.
Well, this is the last game where gold will even matter, since Inquisition is all about resources and crafting, so we might as well make bank while we can. That being said, I'm kind of with Joe on this one. A game's economy either needs to be decently balanced or off the rails. Both can work as long as the economy is made to function that way, but the stores in 2 only work with a limited income, so that's what we get. Otherwise, we run into the Oblivion problem where money means nothing.
Whatever you all can stay allergic to collecting a bag and kill your dragons for scraps. Do we have any lore on our business partner, Barack?
Well, do you want to hear about his foot fetish?
Wait, what? No.
Then I don't know what to tell you, bro, as an Orlesian businessman who, like many Orlesians, doesn't really like Fereldans.
Well, time to leave Kirkwall and start clapping up cheeks across the Vinmark Mountains. Starting off with some raiders as a warm-up, this is easy money with the chain lightning on both Hawk and Anders.
I see you've been practicing up on the type matchup chart, Sleepy. You starting to get pressed in this game now that you're on Fraud Watch?
Just been practicing my memory exercises. I'm getting a little better since leaving the office. That being said, don't think either of you has won the romance competition for best waifu. I'm still in this game.
No one doubts you, Joe. It's still anyone's game at the moment. That being said, I'm going to be challenging about every type of enemy in this game besides 2 of them. So we have plenty of tests ahead to determine where our build thrives and where it struggles, so both of you might want to pay attention.
Yeah, whatever. Just focus on helping your muscle mommy, Barack. I don't need to take notes because I already know that our build thrives anytime President Trump controls Hawk.
Jesus Christ, Donald, let's just say I'm really looking forward to how you handle the Deep Road section in this game. Also, we should probably adjust our tactics. Varric and Anders are running away more than attacking right now, and they just wasted our double crack speed buff.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and adjust it now to aggressive at the risk of the squad getting more clapped up. One or two viewers said they were curious about our tactics setups between the squad and each president, and it's something we are willing to show when we get around to fully setting them up ourselves.
We all tend to use different team members anyway, so it makes sense we can each show a different build in action. Also, goddamn Aveline came rushing forward like a damn linebacker that's some scary shit for the bandits. She even tanked the trip mine trap.
Haste-boosted Aveline is like giving a Krogan jet, it seems. Also, Aveline, you're saying they were well-equipped for bandits, but we kind of slaughtered them before they could even reach us. What exactly is an unequipped bandit, in your opinion?
Probably a tweaker charging us with a spoon or something, but Aveline, we will go back for our possible payday later. For now, let's hit up the Bone Pit for our next side quest. Also, for the observant viewer, we swapped out Hawk's and Anders' staff for a different element going forward since fire is going to stop being useful in a moment.
Yeah, but looks like you were still warming up with some level 1 looters first. Barack, isn't this one of the first quests available or something? This should be easy goddamn money for you.
It's available early, but on Nightmare, it's really best to do this quest. When you're more equipped, it definitely has one of the higher difficulty spikes. If you're playing on normal, though, I recommend going here after recruiting Aveline since it's the earliest source of raw lyrium, which you need to start crafting runes. There's also some elf root and a second enigma of Kirkwall in the far corner here, which we can grab in a minute.
Hawk is definitely the least elf root addicted out of all the protagonists POTUS and the Inquisitor by now. Would already have like 100 bundles. Meanwhile, we are sitting at like 5 bundles at the moment. Also, Aveline saying that the mines and slavery were a necessity towards founding Kirkwall is an interesting take. It kind of sounds like she has been spending too much time on some Tevener forums.
My girl is perfectly fine, Joe. She just has a practical view of things. Why don't you just focus on your morally gray blood mage?
The glaze is insane, but looks like we are about to level up here. What ability are we thinking, boys?
Well, we went with Force Mage, and now that we have haste, we can start dipping into our specialization here. I'm thinking we go with Fist of the Maker. Here, it's a decent spell that gives some damage and really good crowd control. I think now that our front line is more built, we can worry less about friendly fire, too.
Hell yes, Force Mage spells my beloved First the line gun. Now this Biden is finally eating good in this series.
It's crazy that we are goddamn almost halfway through the levels, and we are just now getting a second goddamn offensive spell in this game.
It's my Dragon Age game, and I get to decide how we build the mage. Also, hey boys, looks like we have a lizard outbreak in the mines.
You know I like to take Varric's line here to heart, and that's why the dragons in this game are slightly bigger and more numerous than the ones in Origins. And here's why we switched off fire weapons. These goddamn lizards are going to hit like a truck and take twice as much damage as 1/2. But thankfully, dragons are mostly relegated to very specific areas like in Origins, because my god, can these things be a problem.
Sounds like a skill issue to me. Just channel your voice in a dragon wren shout and be done with it already. Didn't you kill a gigantic dragon mommy in the Frostback Mountains?
I killed one too in the Dragon Bone Wastes randomly.
Yes, see, even Joe killed one of these things. You're fine, Obama.
Yeah, but that was with POTUS and his squad in the 20s or higher. We are in the first section of the game. Rocking standard gear this shit is actually a problem. I mean, this one regular dragon is taking more damage than anything we have faced in this game yet, and it's still not the strongest dragon in the dungeon.
Yeah, but no one made you do the dungeon bear. You literally chose this mission slog and all. As long as you keep debuffing the big guy, he will eventually get clapped up.
Yup, like always, the overpowered mage class saves you here. What is it with dragons and living in tight and cramped caves and ruins instead of mountains or volcanoes?
Well, here's where another raw lyrium deposit is. Viewers, don't forget to grab this so you can start buffing your squad. Also, goddammit, Carter, what are you doing? Don't bring more lizards home with you.
Don't insult our good boy. He is trying to stay ready for the smoke just like Bo before him.
You know, I would be willing to wait later for our Mabari companion if it meant that we get a confirmed descendant of Bo from the Daenerys kennels. That would have been an amazing trend to keep in the future titles if every Mabari companion descended from the hero of Ferelden's. Also, where the hell did our health go?
Not going to lie, I couldn't even see what happened, but it sounds like a skill issue on Obama's part.
The dragon used a goddamn rendability on me or something since it somehow got past my wall, goddammit. This is what I was talking about when I say these things are a problem.
Well, while we take out the rest of these dragons that got a Zenkai boost somehow, why don't we dive into some lore about the Bone Pit? I feel like we have been talking about it since Origins, and now is the perfect time to do it.
Right, good moves, Joe. So viewers, the Bone Pit was the original reason Tevener settled in Kirkwall, as the slaves housed in the city worked in the mines to funnel resources to the Empire. The Bone Pit, however, like the Dragon Bone Waste, is a place sacred to dragons as a resting place where elder dragons go to die. Tevener, on the other side of the coin, believed the dragon bones held power and did several blood magic rituals in the Bone Pit to increase the Magister's power. This many blood sacrifices combined with the number of slaves killed in the bone pit in gruesome ways like feeding them to dragons has led to a very thin veil in the bone pit, something we will see later on in the quest line. Despite the thin veil, however, dragons still feel called to this place.
You know, as a businessman, I respect all forms of fracking and getting your bag up, but it sounds like Teventer controlled the mine far more effectively than Hubert did, since they actually controlled the dragons instead of letting them run rampant.
Well, I mean, Teventer has an army of mages on its side. Hubert is just some cheap Orlesian merchant trying to make a quick buck. The only defense he has is Hawk, which would normally be all he needs, but we kind of have a city to save. We don't have time to play security guard to the miners.
Yeah, who does he think we are, the world's best security guard or something? Also, is this guy saying the damn dragons came out of the ground? How does that work? They have wings. Why would they be underground?
Clearly you have never shouted the bell in Blackreach, Donald, but that being said, he's not saying that. He just worded it the wrong way. They were mining a tunnel and a wall collapsed from the sky, leaving the miners exposed to the dragons flooding into the cave. One of the few times the environment actually aids the storytelling here, since you can see the sun cracking out of the cave. Well, we have to fight the boss now, so time to lock in here, boys.
Yeah, okay, Varric definitely made this thing bigger. There's no way this thing is on the same level as the dragon in the Elven Ruins. Bro is built different.
And he is starting out with some crowd control that hits everyone, bro. Has goddamn priority targeting here, it looks like. I'm actually amazed, but I smell a death in the near future here. This guy smells your backline.
All right, it targeted Varric. First, bro knows that the dwarves are the biggest threat to his kind. Looks like I'm going to have to manage Anders here. I think him having his healing spirit active is generating a shit ton of threat to the dragon.
Yeah, I would have run the other way here. Barry Anders is pinned against the wall here harder than he was against the lava golem in Cal Hurl.
And now the healers down Barak, your ass must be clenched right now.
I don't even know how I was supposed to keep Anders alive there, bro. Just kept getting knocked down. It's not over yet, though. Me and my girl can solo this shit with a little help from Carter. We know Carter wants all the lizard smoke anyway, so it's time he finally pulls his weight over in the squad.
Hey, can you leave some health potions for the rest of us? I kind of need that healing for the Deep Roads expedition, Obama.
Now, Donald, I thought your build thrives anytime you take control of the squad since you're the president now. I'm sure you will be fine, Barry. Here, we'll leave you one.
Relax, Donald. I will leave you a few, and we will end this side quest grind with almost 50 gold again, so we can spend a good amount of money on runes and potions for the squad. I will even do that for you to make up for it, because I already know these fights are going to get harder, not easier.
I'll believe it when I see it, because all I see right now is you putting Aveline on life support while you barely do any damage to this big-ass girl. I think I will do you a solid and take care of the High Dragon fight later this game. Seems like you need a real professional who killed the Queen of the Black Marsh on your side to handle these guys.
All right, calm down, Donald. If you're handling the Deep Roads expedition, you're going to handle your own mature dragon fight, so we can compare performances when we get there first. As messy as it is, I think Barry might have this fight in the bag. The dragon is completely invested in our tank. While we slowly kill this thing, Barry, why don't you go over the Pokemon weaknesses of the dragons?
Thanks, Joe. I could use a little distraction right now. Well, dragons are one of the few creatures that keep the same weaknesses from Origins. They are immune to fire, obviously, while being weak to cold because they are reptiles. Unfortunately, the first act doesn't really have many good ice staffs or ice weapons, so we have to use a more neutral element for now. Anders was here for ice damage later on, but that plan already fell out the window.
No worries, though, because as soon as Act 2 starts and we get that massive gold boost, I'm heading straight for the Wounded Coast to grab Cold-Blooded for a massive power boost to Hawk and Merrill.
Joe, goddammit, that's going to be our entire money supply if you do that. I get that the mages are overpowered and their weapons are too, but you need to take those kinds of decisions through the team.
I'm actually with Joe here. A overpowered ice damage staff is going to really help us clear through the second act. The only thing that resists ice damage is undead and Teveners, and those are few and far between. 80% of the enemies in Act 2 have an ice weakness.
Boom, get fucked, double D.
Fine, Sleepy, go ahead and blow all our money on your mage stick. I won't be a part of this.
Speaking of, after I clap up this adult dragon, I can grab the dragon's fang off its body and take it to the herbalist. That combines with the spider sack Joe got last episode, and the iron bark is a free 3 gold, in addition to the 3 gold Hubert gives us. Anyways, I clapped up the High Dragon boys, so I think I've earned this one after so long.
Boom, easy money. Donald, you didn't say it with me.
That's because it wasn't easy money. I will say it when there is a no difficulty fight, not before.
Damn Donald over here being as sassy as Barry has become. When is it time for the sassy Biden era at this point?
One of the miners told me you rescued him from dragons. I cuffed him for lying.
Well, he wasn't. Go there and see the corpses for yourself.
Also, why the hell did Hubert think dragons are still extinct? It's been the dragon age for over 30 years, which means dragons have been sighted over 30 years ago. How old even is he that made him think they were extinct?
Considering most people view 50 as ancient, Hubert has to be somewhere in his early 40s, so I imagine he was taught in school that dragons are extinct and refused to believe otherwise. The same way Jerry Smith still believes Pluto is a planet in Rick and Morty.
Now, Jerry is valid for that. If Pluto is still a planet in the Mass Effect universe, then it's still a planet here. I don't care what a nerd in a lab coat says.
Donald talking about his environmental plan be like.
Shut up, Joe. We are supposed to avoid talking about political content, remember?
Oh, so now you care about avoiding political content. Got it. Well, Hubert might not know anything about the current ecologic environment, but he does know how to respect Hawk's aura and offer us a mine right at the start.
True, just a casual W for Hawk. Fun fact though, accepting or refusing the mine doesn't have an impact on the following quests. In Act 2 and 3, the game still treats you as a partial owner of the mine, as long as you complete the first quest here. Also, asking to be paid up front doesn't increase the amount of gold you get. You always get 3. So the only impact the dialogue responses have is companion approval.
Bro knows business, but 3 gold for that dragon fight doesn't really seem worth it for what we went through. What's the game plan now, Barack? Recruiting some drunks in Low Town to frack out more minerals?
Well, yes, but first, since we are already at the markets, let's pick up our third side quest and help a totally not terrible dude find his wife.
Oh God, this guy, it's like they dragged the average husband from the 1950s and made him French.
Add some unemployment to that, bro. Clearly states that his wife is the breadwinner in the house, and he just wants to find her so her family doesn't cut him off or make him pay.
Bro, how are you broke and maidenless? Pick a struggle, my guy, and get your bag up instead of sitting here bitching. This is just sad.
Bro is the prime example of the most likable Orlesian.
Most every companion agrees with you, Donald, especially Isabella, likely because this guy is clearly abusive and is only with his wife for his own benefit, and not because he actually cares for her, which parallels Isabella's marriage that we can learn about later if we do the romance scene with her. Not surprising if you have Isabella in your party, she will vocally oppose to helping this guy, and you will earn rivalry points.
Thank God you didn't bring Isabella, but what the hell do you mean if we see her romance scene? We are absolutely watching that romance scene. It starts right at the beginning of Act 2, and we are absolutely getting an uncensored version up in here.
No, we are not. We were barely saved from not being demonetized with the brood mothers. We are getting the PG-13 romance scenes, and we will learn to cope with it.
I just realized I should have agreed to hook up with Liliana in exchange for romancing Morgan. Can't believe I fumbled that.
Too late, no take back, Sleepy. You need to learn the art of the deal before you try to barter with me. Anyway, even if my pirate queen disapproves of helping this guy, I already know this quest is insanely plot relevant. So I guess we are locked into helping him.
Still sucks that this plot relevant quest starts by helping this clearly terrible dude. And because of that, it's easy for players to miss this quest and important lore about the serial killer in America 2.
You're on the nose with that one, Joe, especially since this quest doesn't unlock until after completing Anders' quest 2. So just like Isabella, it's easy to miss. Although unlike Isabella, this quest is right in the market that you do have to come back to several times for the main quest, so it's far easier to not miss. Anyway, we will take care of this quest after helping Hubert get his workers back to the mine and helping my girl become captain.
Damn, these dudes would get along great with Uncle Ogre, and they all have the same corny, drunk sense of humor.
Where is South Reach again, Barry? I remember hearing about it during the lands meet, but that's about it.
South Reach is just above Loithering and before the Brazilian forest entrance, as this guy implies. Just like Loithering, it's mostly all farmland. The RL there is Bryland, who is the only RL in the Landsmeet who is default on our side, and no matter what we do, we don't lose his vote.
Shout out to South Reach, you're a real one, and I'm sorry you wasted your vote just to spare the snake who sided with Howe.
Bro will absolutely by no means ever let that go, it seems.
Well, back to this quest, the only outcome that matters is what solution you choose to get the miners back to work. If you offer them a raise, Isabella gains rivalry, while Varric gains approval. If you offer to protect them, there is no boost one way or the other, and it's less on our pockets. So that's the path we are choosing.
Saving money, that's the way I like it.
These guys deserve the extra pay, but it shouldn't come from us.
The last thing I can say about the Ferelden miners here I already mentioned before, but there was cut content involving Hubert's workers in the Ferelden Refugee Center that would involve this quest. It's unknown whether this would have you working against Hubert or be a prerequisite to get the workers back to the mine, however.
Well, now that we have drunk miners working for us again, let's go back to helping Aveline. Surely being insubordinate and going over her boss's head will have no problems in a military-like environment.
Realistically, this doesn't seem like a problem yet, bro. Might just be a hard ass trying to keep people in line. Even a good cop might not like breaking rank.
Yeah, but that means we did all this for nothing. And I know damn well that you want to get paid for killing bandits more than I do.
That sounds like a skill issue between Aveline's and Hawk's negotiation skills. They should have set up a contract with guaranteed pay before going on this side quest.
Not surprising Donald is over here supporting keeping the captain, who is bribable and corrupt in power.
Oh, please, like the both of your hands are clean on this front. Don't lecture me on the text. I've been there when it was written.
Not how the line goes, Donald, but Aveline has a gut feeling about this, so we are going to take a risk and trust Hawk's oldest friend at the moment. Besides, we all know what really went down here.
Yeah, bro sent one of his guards to face an entire horde of bandits. Quick side note, though, these bandits really should have just turned around and ignored the squad if they were expecting a lone guard with a package of gold and administrative information. Why did they go all Skyrim bandits on us?
I guess they either thought we had the information or we were easy money. Side note, Guardsman Brennan is kind of bad, I can't lie.
She has the Liana hairstyle, definitely a smash for me.
Well, you all will have to wait in line because Brennan is head over heels in love with the bartender and the hanged man Korf. She apparently reads him poetry that is so terrible that Aveline has to threaten to collar her for assault, so she will stop. Her romantic side has inspired Varric, though, giving her a prominent role in his bestseller Hard in Hightown.
Damn well you can't blame a girl for trying the heart wants what the heart wants. Also, I know Donnic is a trigger berry, so why don't we practice some deep breathing first?
Don't mention that goddamn name in my presence. I will save him, but only because my girl wants to. If it was up to me, I suddenly would be stricken with blindness.
Bro has beef with an actual NPC who flirts with his girl. You know they aren't real, right, Barack?
Yes, but my smoke with him is very real, and that's all that matters to me anyway. We will go save the fraud, but first, while we are here, let's pick up one of our main quests for the episode and help out this lost Chantry sister.
Barry, you're sure you're not intentionally delaying helping Donnic for your own purposes?
No, Joe, I would never do that. I'm just trying to be optimal, and this quest is on its way to our current one anyway, so it saves us time in the long run, and more importantly, editing time for our editor.
Barack, never before in this playthrough have you cared about saving time for our editor. Also, I just know while this is going on, there's some dude in the background yelling, ow, and there's some distant kicking in the background.
It's also low town, so that sound is probably muffled by some dude getting a sad handjob by a lady of the night.
You know, seeing all of this, I'm starting to get the impression that Kirkwall isn't a very nice place to live.
What, of course not. A place that mugs Chantry priests is exactly the kind of place I want to be. It's not like there's roving gangs of cosplay bandits around every corner of the city.
Kirkwall is at least safer than Philadelphia was last week. I'd rather deal with the cosplay bandits than roving Eagles fans stealing poles and street signs.
Again, we apologize to our Philadelphia fans. We love you and hope you stayed safe this week. Congrats on the Super Bowl win. Anyway, did Patrice here really trust her guard that much it looks like girl was about to get mugged and stabbed a few times before her Templar showed up?
Why the hell is bro here? Shouldn't he be back at the circle kicking a mage in the nuts or throwing a mage baby in a blender under Meredith's orders?
I mean, not every Templar is a mage prison guard. Some of them are appointed to chantries, right? That's what we see in Daenerys and Lothering.
It's rare, but not all Templars serve in a circle, although this is rare, because all of their training is meant to fight mages and demons, not be bodyguards. Realistically, Seekers should do this, but they are few and far between, so Templars pick up the slack.
Well, no matter why they are here, once again, we are forced to contribute in a quest where something is clearly off about this whole thing, but we still have to go along with it, since there's not really an alternative. This one is probably the most blatant because the only reason to do this quest is to learn who Patrice and Varnell are.
I love all of Dragon Age's lore and story, but some of these Act 1 main quests are forced and show your choice doesn't matter. You can say the game was rushed, but that doesn't make this any less tragic.
Ooh, damn. Are we already getting into the game was rushed topic? I'm ready for a sequel to the turret rant.
No, the rushed aspect doesn't really poke its ugly head until slightly in Act 2 and largely in Act 3. No point talking about it until it shows up. This is going to be a large series, and I'd like the topics to be ever-changing instead of the boys kicking the same dead horse.
Also, watch out, Joe. You're in the splash zone here.
Joe, quickly, hand me my drone controller.
Barry, I'm not the president anymore. I don't know where Donald put it.
God fucking damn it.
Damn, I guess Joe's dementia is rubbing off on you finally, Obama.
Why the fuck does Walmart Steve Rogers got you smiling like that, Aveline?
This is a real-life crash out over ones and zeros. Secret Service, fetch me my popcorn.
Donald, you are definitely the last person who gets to call someone out about that. We have all of our origins as evidence of your devotion to Morrigan. And I already know if we went back into the implications of who Alistair hooked up with in Darkspawn Chronicles, we would both crash out.
Okay, fine. I will hold back some of my thoughts.
Aveline, please, this guy was getting beaten up by level 1 crooks, as opposed to me, who has killed ogres and dragons in front of you. Plus, I've known you longer, so if anyone deserves to get crushed by you, it's me, E-K-E-to-E. Please, I need this.
All right, I thought it might get this bad Barry. I brought a Kindle and have a Dragon Age visual novel. Load it up, go nuts.
Oh, those who speak, that's one of my favorites.
Damn, Joe, good save. Usually it's the other way around here. This is weird. Anyway, even if our yapper isn't here, we should still talk about the fact that this dude's plan is terribly scuffed.
This seems like a lose-lose situation when you could have just paid a poor person a few silver to deliver your package.
Well, either way, there goes the second guard captain to be fired this year. Meredith does good work keeping the guards on their toes.
Oh my God, my glorious King Bran II, only 2 Tegan in my heart.
When 2 doors close for Barry, another sus window opens up, it seems. Bran is incredibly competent, though, like Tegan, and he is already showing it by giving our squad mate the guard captain role. We already have connections in the cities 1 year in.
I'd still prefer a guard captain that I can bribe and respects money, but I guess a guard captain who is our friend also is easy money. Speaking of, do we finally get paid for killing all of those coterie bandits thanks to the change in management?
Sadly, no, I think Bran and Aveline just kind of forget about it. And Aveline isn't in a position to issue payment yet. She's just elected to the position. She's not actually captain yet. We are just going to have to take the experience gain.
God damn it, Hawk, stop fumbling the bag. Every other companion quest so far gave us something. Even Fenris, who was a slave, gave us some gold for our demon slaying.
Well, Isabella didn't actually pay us either. She just offered her time in the squad.
That's fine, just like those pizza delivery videos in my homework folder. If she doesn't have the money, I'm sure she can think of some other way to pay us.
God damn it, I walked right into that one.
Well, we might not have gotten paid for this, but we are getting paid for every other quest we are doing today. And this quest has tons of relevance towards Act 2 and 3. You can't even get the best ending from Aveline's quest line if you don't do all 3 quests.
Sounds like that was the only motivator to do them, since her quests don't pay or give rewards. Easy B-tier companion Mommy Morrigan and Fenris would never.
Not everything needs to be a constant dopamine rush of rewards to be fun, Donald. You're right on the money. Joe Aveline's quest line in 2 is one of the most expansive because each quest has a different state due to your previous choices, including giving world state options for not doing the quest, something 2 normally doesn't do by forcing you to do the quest. Also, say what you will about Aveline, she is a realist about the Maker, and she is loyal both to Hawk and her dead husband.
Her loyalty is solid. I just wish the girl was a little more flexible in the guard and the lawful good department. Sometimes we need to go above the law to get things done. I mean, just look at Batman.
Bro, you are not Batman.
My girl might not be Batman, but she can arrest and interrogate me anytime she wants.
It's dope she balances fighting with the champion with her guard captain role. I imagine making Aveline guard captain was a gameplay compromise. So we can keep her as a companion, but still have her in the guard. Now she can just set her schedule as busting down doors with Hawk.
True, and that's not the only thing that will be busting time to check out my Riz 2 boys.
Again, we are committed to Meryl.
It's good that you can stay with me. I need you, Aveline.
You've been grand through all of this. A true friend.
Oh, goddamn the friend zone, you hate to see it, but that's just the average L for the Rizless liberal presidents.
It's okay, I'm patient. But let's go hit up a few other companions. Hopefully none of them piss me off, though I'm a little sensitive right now.
Starting off with the healer robe, to have a calm conversation is definitely an interesting choice. Obama, at least he's starting off right by bringing up POTUS.
Look, Anders, if you're going to bring up POTUS, at least use his name and give him some more credit for even giving you the idea to save justice by making him love the mortal world in the first place.
I mean, Vengeance, I'm going to be real with you. I respect you on the squad, but using the Patera earrings with Justice was a bad idea. You literally had no concept about what would happen, and so far all it does is cause you to crash out.
I'm surprised to hear you say that usually all your hearts bleed when it comes to the robes and their decisions.
My compassion ends around the point that you not only corrupt both individuals, but you become probably a threat to other people for no other reason than their job.
Barry, I know you got friend zoned, but this conversation is making me and Anders incredibly uncomfortable. Sure, bro made a bad decision, but he was just trying to help justice, and he wanted to do something to improve the lives of mages.
Mages don't need quality of life buffs until they nerf their demon spawn times. Bro does have one point, though. The Templars have Delirium, the Holy Smite, and Lord Sandel on our side, so you robes better stay in your lane until you can handle the true definition of based.
Did you guys hear something?
Presidential business, just ignore it.
Bro definitely just crashed out. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I thought him going spirit mode only happened during scripted sections.
Nope, if you don't agree with Anders' point of view, Justice does come out and respond with violence like the average person on the internet when they start to lose an argument. We also got a large amount of rivalry for that too, so I'm going to take note of that and move on to the next companion.
I have no time to argue with you.
Oh, hell yes. Mommy, I missed you so much.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but the Blood Mage is somehow the far less dangerous of the two mage squad mates we are dealing with right now. The acoustic elf is really only a danger to herself and Varric's pockets when he tried to protect her.
They both have their issues, but only one of them is getting violent. At the moment, it's true. This highlights something rather important about being an apostate. The first thing you need to learn is how to blend in with the rest of the world and contain your magic. This is something Meryl mentions here and that we see with Connor and Redcliffe too, with Jowan's training. It's easy to forget how lucky Hawk and Bethany are that he was trained by his circle mage father on how to use and control their magic.
Hawk kind of fumbles that as soon as danger happens, though, like when we got discovered by Fenris. Thankfully, Hawk's aura is too intimidating to be threatened by some average Templars, so it's not really a problem.
I've been careful, even among the Dalish. Keepers never work magic.
I'm pro-Templar, but Meredith ordering Templars to arrest Hawk is like the Navy sending one ship to arrest my Hawk when Bro is confirmed close to Yonko level.
Well, no approval changes from this conversation, but it does go over more into Meryl's feelings on leaving her clan. Let's get back on the side quest grind by dealing with the loose ends quest given by Mirren. We have to take out some city guards to save the new hire Mirren sent. Then we can find our target.
We really have to kill some guards after we just helped the guards and appointed a new captain. Our morality is all over the place, boys.
Aveline, can't you just ask these guys to stand down? You are their boss now anyway?
Well, Aveline isn't the captain yet, but it does feel weird that there's no option other than killing the guards. These guys are not even on the take or anything. They were appointed to protect the noble Lord Harriman and are just doing their job interrogating the mercenary that was trying to kill him.
We kind of stopped fighting guards after Act 1, but are there any Pokemon weaknesses to these guys buried?
The same as Tevener soldiers, Joe, they are weak to fire and immune to cold likely, because they are farther north, although you don't hear about Kirkwall being colder than Ferelden, though it might be environmentally similar.
So I respect this dude for not giving in to torture, but he still got folded by a few guards. But he should find a different line of work, looks like.
I mean, Hawk's contract expired. That's like losing your 5-star quarterback in college football to a 2-star freshman who can't throw farther than 5 feet. Mirren is going to have to start shelling out big money to get Hawk numbers from someone else.
Especially as a mage, I don't even know the rarity of trained apostates in Kirkwall that won't also blood sacrifice your other squad mates for a bigger fireball.
Harriman, doesn't this dude come back up later in the game? That name sounds familiar.
Harriman's kids and grandkids are the organizers of the plot against Sebastian's family. They were the ones who hired the White Flint Company, as we will learn in Act 2. However, Lord Harriman here had nothing to do with that. Also, he mentions Lady Reinhardt as the potential noble who hired the Red Irons to kill him. Our mother, however, mentions that the Reinhardt are close family friends to the Amels. Either the generation after our grandfather raised nothing but terrible nobles, or Bro is just guessing at who did it.
What have you done that so many people want you dead?
You sound Ferelden.
You sound Ferelden is a wild statement, Bro. Looks like he's about to call us a slur.
Just hear him out, Donald.
Many of my fellow noblemen resent that. They want me dead before he sends the money so they can reclaim...
Wait, shit, this dude sent money to POTUS and our big bro Alistair? Never mind, we are not killing this guy Ferelden for life.
Donald actually not wanting to go through with the renegade decision, a decision that gives you more money too? I must be dreaming.
It's technically my choice here, but I have the same opinion, honestly. Bro is a good guy. Even if his future isn't looking too bright, with both his neighbors and children being snakes, Bro deserves to live as much of a life as he can. And to make this easier, we can easily lie to our old boss and still get some money anyway, as well as Varric approval.
I can do the Paragon choice guilt-free as long as money is still involved. Go and prosper. You're one of like 10 people in this city that is based, my guy.
Well, while we are in the docks, we can tackle one more side quest right across the street for some extra lore and gold.
Wait, hold on. Does that name say Harrowmont? What the hell is he doing here?
Oh, right, I forgot you. Always side with the Paragon do-nothing Harrowmont instead of the grind setter Balin. You see, his grind doesn't stop in Origins. He makes sure to take out any possible Harrowmont that could threaten his grind in Orzammar, and that includes his nephew. Bro even has the Carta in line working for him.
That's fucked up. His nephew wasn't even a factor in this election.
Yeah, well, we don't need to rub salt in the wound, so we are going to help him out here, but this is a momentous end to an arc for our channel since the king election in Orzammar was the first ever community vote we did, and now we can see the final repercussions of the viewers' vote. With that being said, while we wipe out the Carta, I do have a comment question for you all. If you could pick any decision you made in Origins to have an impact in Dragon Age 2 in the form of a quest or an NPC appearance, what would it be? For me, I would have liked to see the impacts of the conspiracy quest or one of the day in court decisions from Awakening. I feel like Awakening had POTUS make several important political decisions, but the only one that has impacts in the future games is sparing Amaranthine. These decisions were some of the most memorable, and seeing political ramifications would have made me consider these choices in the future even more closely. Hellhawk and Anders could have reacted to the decision since they may have been there themselves.
Not a bad pick, Barry. As for me, I would have loved to see the impacts of giving the Green Blade back to Bevan, since the ending slide said if you give them the blade, he uses it to become a famed adventurer inspired by the hero of Ferelden. Since Act 3 takes place 9 years after Origins, assuming Bro was at least 9 at the time of Redcliffe, he could already be starting out his journey and reminiscing about how we remember POTUS based on his morality or his interactions with Bevan. Maybe he would be more Paragon or Renegade if we persuaded or threatened him. Maybe we could even go on a small hunt with him on the Wounded Coast. Anything to see POTUS's impact on the future generations.
Not bad, Joe. That was during my episode, so I clearly made an impact on the youth. As for me, though, I would have loved a quest in Act 3 where we kill an anti-Van Crow or a sword collector turned bandit, and on his body we find POTUS's ultimate blade vigilance. That sword is ingrained in the minds of most Dragon Age fans as the ultimate weapon, even 4 games later, and there's a massive reason for that because of what you go through to get it, and the sheer aura of the blade itself. Apparently there was some cut content to place the sword in the game since the model exists, but we can never match the power that the blade brought in Origins.
Goddamn boys, that was some fire fan fiction theories all around in viewers. Let us know what decision in Origins you wanted to see covered in Dragon Age 2. Feel free to get creative. We love to hear your thoughts, and we will feature our favorite comment next episode. But with that, all being said, Joe Mind featuring our favorite comment from the last episode.
Sure thing, Barry. First of all, shout out to all the Ice Spell love. We all share a brain cell. Clearly, our featured comment comes from CF Kusef, who said their favorite spell is Fade Step, not only for the utility and positioning power, but also for the roleplay reasons, so they can move around while still listening to the peak companion dialogue. Extra movement is always versatile with proper game knowledge, so this is an excellent pick. Thank you for your comment, and can't wait to hear what decision you would have liked to see in Dragon Age 2.
All right, this would normally be the section where we shout out super thanks, but we legit had so many last episode that we are going to have to break this down into sections, so bear with me, please. For now, it looks like I have to eat my own words. I thought Joe or Donald would run into this encounter during their almost 3 hours of playing, but looks like I'm destined to pay the price for stealing from this girl in the prologue.
My God, actual karma and justice, this is a rare sighting in today's world.
If Barry gets his first death to these guys, I would be willing to end this series here and move right on to Inquisition.
Well, it's not going to happen, these guys are easy goddamn money. Only Athenril is a partial threat, being a boss-level assassin with some high crit chance.
This whole episode is just a montage of curb stomping these level 1 crooks into oblivion. Well, while we are just taking care of business as usual, Joe, you want to start the first round of super thanks?
Sure thing, Donald. First off, we are going to start with the Soulless Mancers, who as of the time of publishing this video are in the lead in the competition. We have $10 from Robert Wadsworth and Vampire Wolf 373, as well as $50 from Tidy Gamer 21, who has been one of our OG viewers. So special. Shout out to you, and thank you all for continued support of the channel. We are happy to see how excited you all are for Inquisition and how passionate you all are for Dragon Age's top 8. Your support helps the channel in more ways than you know, so stay tuned and keep watching the competition since it's going to be close.
I'm incredibly tempted to vote for anyone but the egg with my own bank account, but we will see what happens. Domestic Violence 2025 is alive and well for the egg. Here's some of the underdog romance options. We have $15 from Chill Sports Fanatic, whose romance choice is Josephine, but also gave a whole character analysis of several different waifus throughout the series. FYI, if Morrigan has red flags, I must be colorblind, but thank you for your support, none the same. We also have 2 donations from Sidamarek, one for going the maidenless route in this game, which is Elden Ring approved, and another $5 from our latest Dead Space episode, recommending us to do the side games, which we might do at some point, and $10 from Quilby for maidenless. Our editor recognizes you as an active Discord member too, so shout out to that.
Last one here before we get back to the story, we have $15 from Kat with a sniper rifle, who gave $15 for their waifu Dorian, which is a based mage choice. He also said, I have excellent taste, which thank you for noticing, but clearly you're the one with excellent taste for donating. I see you are a student, and our editor knows firsthand that money can get tight in that time, so thank you, especially for your support, even if it's never required to bring you entertainment. Now let's get back to Barry talking to an elf twink.
Yeah, I have noticed you've been breathing through your mouth the entire time when talking to this guy, Obama.
I have no idea what you mean, Donald. I'm just locked into this investigation. It's interesting how a Templar was investigating Ninette's disappearance, but somehow she's not a mage. You would think with how many nobles or hidden mages it would be a safe bet.
I mean, we just learned earlier how many Templars visit the Blooming Rose Bro. Probably just went here to mix business and pleasure.
You're on the money. Joe Emmerich is another frequent Templar visitor of the Blooming Rose. Unlike Thrast, though, he doesn't have a go-to person. He mostly sits in the corner, watching, so I guess he just likes to watch.
A Templar sitting in the cuck chair was not on my 2025 bucket list for Dragon Age 2. This is a disgrace to the order. Bro needs to step up, say his prayers, and get laid.
You know, you have a point, Donald. We need to seize the moment. There's some things I want to do for the content, starting now and taking risks. You had a point about Isabella in Origins, Donald. Now it's time to correct that.
I'm glad you're finally seeing reason. Wait, why are we talking to the elf twink again? And why did you change the squad?
Wait, Barry, why are you slowly zooming into him there? I've never seen this look before.
Remember, boys, content first. It's time to give the people what they want.
What the fuck?
I have never been more uncomfortable in all my days. Why the hell do you moan like a mourning dove when you goon?
Oh, please, like Swedish and dog barks are any better. You have been dogging me since episode 2 about not hooking up with Isabella, so I thought I would stand on business.
Sleeping with the elf twink does not equate to banging the queen of the pirates, Obama.
I'm just pissed that now I'm the only one in this playthrough that hasn't scored yet. I'm feeling so unfulfilled now.
That's entirely a skill issue on your part, Sleepy. If you made a better deal, you could have hooked up with the Bard in Origins. Also, is this Templar really being bullied by some level 1 crooks? Stand up and smite them, you bum.
I believe the phrase is he is too old for this shit, but while we deal with our 20th daily thug ambush fight, let's go on to the last few super thanks we have. Starting off with the big wallets, here we have $50 from Joe Million, breaking and tying a donation record once again for the second time in the history of this channel, and it is for my mommy Cassandra. So for me personally, we thank you for this absolutely base take. We are also thankful to have a longtime fan who donates to this channel, and with support like this, the content train doesn't ever plan to stop, so from all of us here, thank you. We also have 50 European monies from Anti-Jutas Niemi, who made a big money donation, just for the love of this channel, as he specified he didn't, and is starting a donation streak as many other of our cultured viewers have already. Thank you all for this incredible support. We are in disbelief at what a great community we have built from our super thankers to just our regular viewers. We never dreamed of numbers like this, and here's to keep growing more and more.
Well, back to the game, we have Stick in the Mud Emmerich here, finally realizing that Bro is in fact too old to become a Templar private investigation practice. One thing I never got is about the girl who started this investigation, the Mage Moran. Emmerich says that she is an older and loyal mage, so there's no reason for her to suddenly vanish. But Meredith has been a relatively new knight commander, and her rule has been getting stricter as time goes on. Wouldn't a previously loyal mage try to leave if a new knight commander started making a bunch of new rules?
It's true, mages are as skittish as sheep. They are quick to hide in caves and start doing blood magic.
Wait, did we just agree on something again?
I believe we did, my good man.
Hey, Joe, don't forget Donald is ahead of you in the death competition. Let's not get too comfortable here. I can't handle another Winding Woods incident. That being said, that's always been my thought too, but that might be the point they are trying to make, that Emmerich is out of his element and isn't exactly an expert investigator. The game almost gives a bait and switch moment where you start believing these disappearances are not suspicious and rather a situation where people are blowing normal behaviors out of proportion. However, as we know, somehow this dude got the luckiest guess of his life.
I mean, to be fair, hunting a serial killer is far more interesting than a girl who ran off to bang a bunch of dudes. Don't fix what ain't broken for plot hooks.
I don't know, sometimes subverting expectations is more memorable. There is a quest in Skyrim, for example, where a dude asks us to save his wife from bandits, only for you to find out the wife is the bandit chief and escape her boring farm life to living a life being a bandit king. We could have had something similar, maybe thinking women are being kidnapped, but instead there's an underground railroad of some sort for mages and women to escape their situations when needed, and we can either disrupt it or help them conceal it. Might have been more memorable, but instead we have to stop another crazy blood mage in Kirkwall.
Even worse is the notes he gives us here. Not only does he give them up to us easily saying this is hopeless, but reading the notes in the codex flat out says his notes are incoherent, rambling, and a mess. But somehow his one guess of the foundry is completely correct.
All right, Hawk was definitely looking right at the killer here and saw where he ran. Why the hell didn't we even try to look for him?
Welcome to the railroad, Donald Choo Choo.
Stop stealing my phrases, Sleepy. They are trademarked.
Unfortunately, the plot demands we can't search for him yet, despite this not being that big of a foundry, and Hawk clearly figuring out a blood mage is at work because of the demons. Speaking of, we have some demons right here, which is why I brought Fenris and Meryl to this fight, since they are the two best demon killers we have thanks to their damage specialties. Meryl is also going to be important in the next quest we do after this for her nature damage, so she is getting plenty of screen time this episode.
Oh, hell yeah, Barry, that's what I like to see. That's an elf that you should be putting your time and pumping content into.
Obama, your health is getting a little low. This is getting a little bit beyond just tension for the viewers. This is a messy-ass fight.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I'm still getting used to the friendly fire severity, and 2, the Fist of the Maker spell did more damage to Varric and Meryl than it did to the demons. I didn't even move them up there, but because I set their tactics to aggressive, it forces them to run up that close to them. The AI in this fight is just all over the place.
Sounds like a skill issue to me. Barry, you can move them away before you launch the spell.
Hold on, Joe, you're speaking to me a little too tall there, buddy. I have 1 inch and 1 less depth than you do. Let's bring it down to a softer tone.
Damn, Joe has a point. You really are getting sassy or Barack. Maybe the muscle mommies and elf twinks are going to your head. Also, are my eyes bugging, or are the demons beefing with themselves up above?
Yeah, I would like to say that it was because of a spell or a party placement, but honestly, it's just the AI glitching and fighting each other. Looks like the AI is just going to be put on fraud watch on all sides today. This is sad because the AI in this game is far more polished than Origins overall, especially with tactics both on our side and enemy's side.
I hate to sound like an OG fan, but I don't remember Origins enemies ever fighting each other unless we wanted them to. Although since this is Dragon Age 2, I'm going to give them some unwanted glaze and just say it's in a demon's nature to fight for dominance, and they both just wanted to control Hawk.
Either that or it was Abomination versus Shade in some kind of demon race war scenario. Either way, looks like whoever took out Ninette forgot to give her a hand, boys.
That's fucked up Donald. That was someone's wife and daughter.
That never stopped him before Joe. Well, we can inform a few people about Ninette. We can obviously tell Jocelyn and get the initial gold reward, as well as the elven prostitute who was dating Ninette, although we don't get a reward for that. Finally, to end the quest, we have to tell American the gallows and get 3 gold from him. But let's turn in that quest for Mirren first. We not only get paid for saving the bowl cut, but we can even squeeze out some extra gold by lying to him.
Hell yeah, now we are making moves on the grind, boys.
Is there any consequence for lying to our old boss, like with the smugglers, Barry?
None, I guess, because we have been such a good employee before now. He just takes us at our word and doesn't look into it further. The bowl cut never turns on Hawk either since we saved his life.
Forget the bounty, but here's a bit for bringing Gustav back.
Also, despite saying he might have more work for us in the future, we never see any of them again.
It's a really big fumble that we never see them again. The Red Irons or smugglers could have had a role in the later acts.
Well, with the side quests wrapped up, we are going to wrap up by completing the final 2 main quests, so we can go in the gallows at the end of the episode. For now, let's finally do our tasks.
Why was bro standing like the biggest NPC guard in the business, like at least charge up your holy smite first?
It's his first day as a bouncer. He's trying to be intimidating.
Wonder who he was expecting anyway. We came the next night, and I doubt people just break into random low town houses expecting a score.
Bro is probably a bodyguard because he's a few prayers short of a smite, if you know what I mean.
Who is going where?
My name is Sister Patrice. I have assumed a burden of charity.
Oh no, Joe, look out, it's your archenemy.
Eat a dick, Donald Kitojan is not on the same level as the Tal Vayshoth assholes. That being said, I may need to hit up my therapist to work through my unrepressed anger.
I just realized it's almost an hour into the episode and we are finally doing something for the plot. That being said, this is probably the least relevant main mission on the list. Did we really have to help this roided out mage just to meet this B-tier priest?
I would have thought you'd enjoy watching a mage get bound and torture Donald the Qunari are practically on the same page with you here.
This is probably the only thing the Qunari do right. I'm not on board with this communism and equality bullshit they preach, but the fact they keep the mages under wraps while still keeping them useful fireball bots for the military.
Wait, is it why they do all this BDSM shit? I thought they just believed torturing mages is better and more fun than outright killing them.
No, Joe, they do this because they are at constant war with Tevinter, whose army relies entirely on mages, and because mages are the #1 military resource in all of Thetis. I mean, in-game mages are overpowered, but out of the game a mage can be a nearly unlimited source of destruction and healing. The Qunari know this, and it's why they don't outright kill mages, but instead chain them, shackle them, sew their mouths, and put them under constant guard. They train them in destruction magic and nothing else, and for some reason, Qunari mages often have more raw power than even human and elves. Possibly because of the intense training their keepers put them through, or because they get an emotional amp from being tortured all the time.
All I know is if the Sarabus all act like that, one unbound, one in trespasser, the Qunari are goddamn horrifying to deal with, and I'm glad most of them are locked up.
I wonder if the dragon's blood make Qunari more powerful destruction mages? Like if you have some relationship to fire, you should be able to deal stronger fire magic. Although if that were true, you would think the player character mages would get some kind of special buff.
That just means it's either the emotional amp or it's their keepers pushing them to be stronger through torture and training. It makes sense if you taught someone to repress themselves and take the pain all their life, then finally give them an encouragement to go all out, they are going to take it. It's sort of like a kid with strict parents when they go off to college and find out they can drink and their parents won't find out.
Yeah, except instead of alcohol poisoning, bro, just commits war crimes with fireballs.
It's a good thing you're escorting this guy Barry, because Donald would find a way to improve the Qunari's bindings and get recruited by the air shock, and I probably would be too tempted to hand this guy over after what his brother did last episode.
Joe, you are that mad over one death that you would write off all Qunari mages from now on.
I wouldn't be as mad about them if you didn't bring it back up a minute ago. Well timed to trust another person who clearly isn't telling us the whole story, but we just have to go along with it for the plot. The only saving grace here is my elven cutie patootie Merrill feels sorry for him, so I guess he gets a pass.
They really made this dude's BDSM chains as detailed as possible, and even gave him the mask for that extra detail. I wonder if this was the designer fetish, or if this is Varric's fetish.
Oh shit, I forgot Varric is actually narrating all this while we are playing. Cassandra must be sitting here uncomfortable at the chained Qunari description with a sewn mouth.
Just realized that means my girl Cassandra has been listening close to 5 hours now, and we are not even halfway done.
Wonder if they have to take bathroom breaks while he is telling this story theirs. A lot of downtime and side quest yapping during this whole tale.
Speaking of downtime, let's go explore the sewers.
Good luck.
Damn, we should have had Joe play this Qunari quest instead of the Fenrile one, bro. Could have crashed out a 6th time over spiders.
Now I'm good now, Donald. I've channeled my fear of spiders into my love and gooning of Merrill and hatred of Qunari mages. As long as those two things exist, I can build up a tolerance.
So what's going to happen in Inquisition then, Joe, when neither of those things exists aside from one scene at the end of the game?
Well, what's going to happen is we are not going to talk about that until it comes up out of respect for my mental state.
When have we ever once respected that? Sounds like it would be a bummer for the content. Speaking of respect, though, I do have to respect this new team comp you switched to now, Obama. You got my D1 hater Fenris and my pirate queen Isabella on the squad.
Damn right!
Absolutely beyond cringe behavior, Sleepy. Also, what the hell do these dudes expect to do to us? We have 3 mages, one of them looking like a goddamn hellraiser. An elf with lyrium tattoos and a sword bigger than him, and a hot pirate. Meanwhile, y'all are sewer dwellers with kitchen knives.
These guys apparently had the insight to tell we are Feraldans just by looking at us, but not enough insight that the amount of bodies we are about to catch is not worth the gold you might get from killing us.
Hawk is the only one here from Ferald, and Isabella is Ravani. Fenris is Tevinter, and Merrill is Dalish. We are a true multicultural squad, and yet somehow we are still getting profiled here. How can you even say Feraldans are taking jobs when the only person hiring them is Hubert and Bro's work gets you killed more than it pays.
Earldens really aren't the problem here. Bro would be living in the sewers eventually. If the fifth blight happened or not, he just wants a scapegoat, let's be real here.
Bro, I respect always wanting smoke, but if you crank your neck all the way up to the person you want to stab, maybe it's time to pack up your purse and go home, Pookie.
Damn guys, our dude blew him away so hard we don't even have a body left on the ground. Dude's force magic evaporated him.
I like to think that's what happens when Lance orders his Dragonite to hyper beam that dude in Mahogany Town.
Well, looks like Bro has one shot in the tank, and that's all like a Hammer of Dawn, but way less impressive. At this point, we have taken out so many thugs that the gangs in Kirkwall might need 3 years, not just to recover, but replenish their numbers. I'm starting to see the need for the long-time skips now.
You know, we are close to the end of Act 1, and Sith Lightning is still a goated damn ability. Double casting it left everyone here immobilized and gave an easy cleanup.
Those dudes spawning out of thin air perfectly summarizes this game's wave combat, no notes needed. Bro, how the fuck do we turn this Qunari off? He's about to be burnt on one end.
Wow, you do care, Donald.
Now, I just like my mage marshmallows a healthy brown color instead of overcooked.
Well, looks like all we needed to do was be forceful enough, and he listens. It's not too different from training a dog, as fucked up of a comparison as that is.
Speaking from personal experience there, Fenris, something tells me you had to carry out a lot of fucked up orders.
That's putting it lightly, Joe. Our Final Fantasy elf had to go Itachi on the only friends he ever knew, just because his master ordered him to.
Fenris getting a Sharingan does not fill me with a lot of confidence here, boys.
Part of the reason I brought Fenris here, even if he doesn't have any empathy for mages, Fenris has a baseline understanding as to what this guy is going through.
Oh, fuck, Mommy. Give me the belly rubs first. Bark. Bark, bark. Gares, gares, gares.
Okay, we are going to let the Swedish dog have his moment here while we loot around the room. We can grab the third Spiral Eye armor piece from the chest before the exit, which is the last piece we get before the Deep Roads expedition. But after that, we should be back to the surface and away from the Fallout sewers.
The sewer map was a repeat of the Blood Mage hideout from episode 2, and this is a repeat of the Wounded Coast map, just smaller. So that's 2 shots for those of you keeping track at home.
We are not doing the goddamn drinking game, but hold on that. There's a lot of horned dudes. Are they the bandit ones, or the slightly friendlier zealot ones?
They work for the Arashok, but given who we are with it, might as well not make a goddamn difference right now, other than these ones are going to yap to us first.
You will hold Basra Vashidan.
Wait, hold on. What the hell did he call us? I know Vashidan means shit. Barak, translate.
My God, I feel like we are back in Origins talking to Sten again. Basra is a demeaning term for non-Qunari, and Vashdan does mean shit or trash. So he just called us an unenlightened shit or non-Qunari trash, take your pick.
All right, we might have similar views on mages, but you don't talk to your human betters like that, you horned bitch. I'm not gonna get backtalk from someone who would cry piss and shit themselves if I hid your sword from you while you were busy yapping.
You know, if this was the Elder Scrolls, where we still had pickpocketing ability, stealing a Qunari sword might be a valid strategy towards getting them to crash out and kill each other.
Yet another victim of removing skills from the game.
Cerebos, show that your will remains bound to the Qun.
Wait, hold on. If these are the Arashok's Qunari, shouldn't they be recognizing Isabella here and start trying to arrest her? You just said the last episode they got close.
I don't think every Qunari recognizes her. I think only the Arashok and a select few do, since remember the gate guard never notices her. Also, even if they did, Qunari would literally have the mentality that it's not his job. He is here for mages, not pirate thieves stealing important relics.
They really are the kings of minding their own business. If they didn't want to actively conquer the world and be at war with everyone, they would be chill. Also, Bro sat down quicker than Immortal did when Invincible showed up in Season 3. Where's your Qunari pride?
Joe, that season is still ongoing. Don't spoil shit. That's what our Discord is for, after all. Bro really said gray ones all hard like that, the same way I say robes. I sense a like-minded unit among these commies, boys.
Donald, you would fold in the Qunari the second they don't give you the Arashok position upon joining. They would definitely stick your ass in the Ben Hasrath with the other non-horned Qunari.
Donald really is over here inviting celebrities and now random Qunari Templars into the White House cabinet. Also, these guys are talking mad shit for someone who could be clapped up by a single walking bomb. I know the type matchups, you guys aren't immune.
Joe, at this distance, that walking bomb would kill us as quickly as it kills the Qunari.
We would take another Qunari mage out with us too. That's a win-win in my eyes.
Damn, if only the rest of the mages could take themselves out as easily, we wouldn't need all these fancy chains and communist poetry. we could get right back to impressing the waifus by the size of our holy smite.
You know, calling the Arishok an ally here is really optimistic. We have met the dude once and mildly impressed him with our combat ability. I don't even know why this dialogue option exists, and it's probably why they call us a child for even trying to use this diplomatically.
To be fair, with the way Fenris was going on last time, I'm sure the Arishok almost did consider him an ally, although now he is unusually quiet about this situation.
My boy Fenris knows the Grey Mage is cooked here. He's being smart and staying out of it.
I guess we are about to pull the Dragon Age version of Na on these guys.
He'll choose his own path.
He wants what the Qun demands. He is nothing else. You, Basra, your kind have no sense. The opportunity.
Also, we have the option here to tell them we are a mage or that Meryl is a mage for one of the biggest crash outs in the entire Dragon Age series. But I think given how they are talking, I'm just going to say no to them.
I don't think they like hearing no Barry. Also, I guess those BDSM chains aren't just for show. They actually clamp down and restrain him at a moment's notice. Wonder what happens if they drop that shit mid-fight. Do they just get unbound?
As someone who would trade in a robe for a half-eaten hot dog, I can say that giving this guy to the Qunari does not prevent them from fighting you. Bro kills Katojan here and then says he respects us before attacking us ourselves, since we were colluding with the mage already. I'm all for hating the robes, but my hate ends at curb stopping those being among robes. Also, how the hell are the waifus already going down? What the hell is going on in the kitchen, Barack?
Meryl, no,
It was goddamn Fenris. He decided to spirit pulse right at the start of the fight and chunk down Isabella's and Meryl's health to almost nothing. Now I'm stuck with the two-hander elf trying to tank like 7 shirtless dudes while our dog lies down dead with the waifus.
Barry, I don't want to jinx anything, but are you cooked here? Fenris is the only thing standing between you and death.
Oh wow, that's goddamn fair. Aniana. Bashade Asala less de friends damn.
Well, after Barry's first death in the series, we all did some deep breathing, and we are cutting back for round 2. Let's get it.
My deep breathing included a lot of goddamn laughing. The lore master, the original Dragon Age president, now has the same deaths as Sleepy Joe. Viewers, you better start investing in Trump stocks while you can. That value is about to skyrocket next episode.
Yeah, sure thing, Donald. Have your moment. I hope it keeps you warm at night, along with your McDonald's and your wife sleeping 6 rooms away.
Ha! Joke's on you, my Morgan body pillow stays with me at all times.
Jesus Christ, end me now. Well, I only ended up dying here so we can witness the crash outs of all crash outs with these guys instead.
Sure, whatever you want to tell yourself, Barack.
Well, it's a good thing they remained calm and didn't panic all right now. Instead of Fenris blowing his spirit pulse at the start of the fight, let's get Meryl and Hawk to some high ground before he gives the Qunari a +10 assist to the squad wipe.
And yet he still did it anyway. Fenris is really out here acting like our editor does, when he plays Jeff and ults the enemy team and his own team killing everyone at once, so there's no witnesses.
That's a personal joke he threw in there to see if any of his friends watched this late into the video. But yes, if you see our editor playing Jeff in Rivals for some reason, run for your goddamn lives if you're his ally. What's your plan here, Barack? Or are you planning to get an even amount of deaths with help from my boy Fenris? Because my girl is going down right now, so I can't help but feel that's personal, you goddamn rat.
Completely unintentional here, Donald. Unfortunately, melee units really struggle here, as not even Aveline can fully out-tank the Qunari. They just have too much bulk. They are only enhanced by the fact there's another officer here buffing their healing and damage in the background.
I was going to ask about why did their main leader not pull up to the front line with everyone else was default dancing next to the range units, just inspiring them instead of something optimal.
Barack clearly rigged the AI to his advantage again and caused them to glitch out to save your ass getting a second death.
No, if he casts his rally ability, he will stay in whatever location he cast it on and tends not to move past that location. It's why funneling every melee unit around away from the firing squad is the best strategy. Also, casting Horror on the officer disables his aura early when he crashes out. I also gave Meryl an ice staff which pairs with her Wrath of the Elven to significantly chunk down these guys far easier.
Well, looks like there is a second wave, so your first fight was doomed from the start. Barack, even without Fenris assisting the horned guys, hell, you might still get a death here. Isabella is down, and your health is getting low.
It's getting a little dicey, but we still have health potions and the officer buff is taken care of now. so these are just regular dudes that's far more manageable with our high damage squad. Again, these reinforcements would be a bigger problem to a melee heavy squad, not our ranged squad.
And my girl is pulling a Obi-Wan with the high ground. She is absolutely clearing these mage-hating zealots. I've never been prouder or more turned on in my life.
Heavy pause.
Mega pause. What the hell, Sleepy? Also, can you not down all the health potions? I'm doing the goddamn Deep Roads expedition, which is a long dungeon. I'm gonna need a few of those.
Oh, I'm sorry, Donald. I thought you were far and beyond us now in terms of skill with your 0 deaths. Surely you don't need healing too.
I do not have time for this level of sass, Obama. Yes, I'm better, but I still need resources.
Well, no worries. I will add some health potions to our inventory after the episode ends. Also, we finally freed our boy after a second grueling battle.
Can you stand?
What the hell even is the golden stick that the Qunari Templar uses to control him? Like, I know it triggers the BDSM chains, but how does it do that, and how did we free him?
The chains are triggered through a collar, but how the switch activates it is unknown. I imagine lyrium is involved, but the Qunari have figured out engineering without the need of lyrium. Before, so it's up to the fans to fill in the gaps. I imagine that scroll is more like a switch that turns on and off at will, and that's how we turned it off.
Well, we finally gave this dude the ability to yap, and all he wants to talk about is self-expiring now. I respect it because he's a mage, but goddamn was this a massive waste of time from Hawk's part.
There's really no way to save this guy, is there? No matter what path we choose, he chooses the route to take himself out.
Nope, it's clear indoctrination. No matter what way you look at it, the QE states that a mage has to live like this for the betterment of all, and that they can only find certainty in life by following the Quni. This is why he is willing to be treated as a dangerous threat and chained like a pet. The Qunari have a strange outlook on this as they pity, but honor the Sarbias at the same time, since they see the Sarbia striving under constant threat from demons and choosing to live in pain, and vigil is truly selfless, the highest virtue of the Quni, which is why we can go to the Arishok and tell him about this after this quest is finished for some approval points.
Bro doesn't even care about killing all his guys as long as the mage is dead and follows the Qun, he's good. Bro isn't him, but he is definitely aura farming.
Again, Donald, your height complex is showing here, but I still feel bad for Ketojin. Even if it's his choice to end his life, Bro is not in the right mindset to truly make choices like this when he has been a literal tool on a leash all his life. I'm genuinely surprised Fenris doesn't have more lines to say about this guy, yet he has beef with mages, but the parallels between him and this guy are hard to ignore.
Again, my boy Fenris is probably feeling conflicted on the righteous Templar path. On one hand, you have to curb stomp all mages, but on the other hand, when they make it too easy that they do it to themselves, you start feeling a little bad. The hardest choices, however, require the strongest wills, in my opinion.
Okay, calm down, Thanos. This scene here really does highlight how dark of a game Dragon Age 2 can be even without some of the topics like broodmothers. There's no way to save this guy regardless of our choice. If this was Inquisition or Veilguard, we would have had a dialogue interrupt or something to make Ketojin an ally, or hell, even a companion. But in 2, there's no happy ending here for most characters, just characters playing a role in the tragedy of this world.
That was surprisingly beautiful, Joe. Very insightful take on this game. I'm proud of you.
Now what the hell, is there a hidden teleprompter or something here? How the hell did you say all of that without stuttering?
You'd be surprised how many words you get from the heart when you leave office, Donald.
You are closer to the Qunari than you admit. Your role would change little if you accepted the Qun.
At least we get a pretty strong necklace for helping him, considering this quest ends the same way no matter what. You might as well help him for the strong Act 1 amulet. Also, burning yourself alive is like the most painful way to do it, Bro. Is insane. He could have just cast a walking bomb on himself.
Joe, this is not goddamn Vermeer. We don't need our ally to go out in a nuclear explosion. Anyway, let's go catch up with our priest who led the Qunari with a trail of bodies to our location.
Look at them, they are even doing the cliché leave no trace. We were here. If we'd come 5 minutes later, they would have already lit this house on fire.
My helpful associate from the streets. You took the Qunari from the city? Without incident?
Without bloody incident? You know better.
Hey, jackass Templar, or no talk to my pirate queen like that again, and I will throw you through the goddamn wall.
The confrontation here has different voice lines for every character, all of them being some kind of slur. He calls Anders Aveline and your siblings Ferelden, Isabella as woman and Meryl, Fenris and Varric simply by their race.
Bro is a max level 4chan user. He hates all minorities equally and is just channeling the Qunari hatred. Because his girl also hates the horned guys.
It saddens me that fellow mage haters can't get along because of a small thing like race. You can't control how you were born, but you can control being a non-tranquil rogue. Apply your hatred where it matters, boys.
That was the first time I've seen understanding mixed with pure bigotry in the same sentence. I don't know whether to be impressed or tell you to eat a dick.
Why not both? All that being said, has anyone ever had a reason to side with Patrice? She just sent you off to our possible death because you are a poor nobody whose death could mean more than your life if it causes racial tensions.
I mean, she might be an asshole, but at least she pays us for our trouble. 7 goddamn gold and 1 less robe, too. That's worth the trouble of killing the horned guys.
I imagine she took that shit from the poor box to pay us like in Liliana's song. I already know the chantry in Kirkwall doesn't do a damn thing for all the refugees and natives. If the refugees have to go to an independent shelter and the natives are already taking up to living in the sewers. Also, we can talk to Elthina about our encounter with Patrice, but she just says it's bad how many people among her flock hate the Qunari and that we need to pray.
Girl already showing Act 1 that she is the most useless character in the series.
I'd say it's too early to hate her, but it's always a good time to start hating on useless priest grandma. I will hit her up along with the Arishok during my episode right before we head into the deep roads.
Well, with us purely set on the road of being Patrice's enemy and an Elthina hater, let's take care of one more errand before we tackle the last quest for the episode. We can turn in the ring for another 1 gold and to glean a little more insight into this guy and his relationship with his now ex-wife.
I'm not sure if Bro is sad because he cared about her or sad because his meal ticket is gone. It's better than he deserved, but I guess he cared about her in some regards, so the marriage wasn't a complete farce, at least.
Bro gave a very realistic reaction to finding out his wife died and got her hand chopped off. I'm surprised he didn't puke in front of us.
If I was a cop, I'd probably rule him out as a suspect that fear and disgust over how his wife died was genuine as hell. The last thing I can say about this guy is he has a small fourth wall break when we first meet him to accept the quest. If we don't talk to him and just stay there long enough, he will start asking, "Can't anyone see this exclamation point over my head?"
You know a lot about fourth wall breaks, Barry. Speaking of peep, this transition to the last main quest.
Crazy how it used to take us 2 episodes to finish 1 main quest line, or 5 whole episodes in the case of the base dwarfs. But now we are finishing up multiple main quest lines per episode, and we are close to the end of the first Act 4 episodes in. Also, I think Thrask is lost. The Blooming Rose is about 20 miles back in town, buddy.
Bro is just having his 20th daily realization that he is not cut out to be a Templar in Kirkwall under Meredith. Also, fun fact, if we had bribed Thrask earlier during the Finreal quest line, we can taunt him asking if he wanted to meet here to pay his next bribe in person, but causing some massive Varric rivalry.
I wonder if anyone has actually gone down the rivalry path with Varric. It has to be genuinely hard to do, and it doesn't have any consequence in future games, because the game designers don't even expect you to do it. Also, this guy wants us to be nice to mages because he can't be publicly nice to mages himself. Bro is practically the Tsundere of the Templar Order.
I think if Thrask saw how we handled the last escort quest, and what happened to the mage we were supposed to protect, he would be reconsidering hiring us.
That's not a fair comparison. The dude was indoctrinated. Anyways, I want to retract a statement that we have made frequently in this channel about phylacteries. I've always been prominent that the change in writing from Origins to 2, with Heplar taking control of the Circle lore, left subjects like fraternities and phylacteries almost non-existent, and that's what can explain plot holes like Anders and the Mage Warden's phylacteries simply not existing in this game. But this is the second time now this episode that phylacteries have been mentioned so clearly. Heplar did remember these points. They were just certain holes missing from the equation. My bad.
Fumbling lore in battles. This is not your day today, Obama.
It's been a long day, okay. At least I'm president enough to admit when I made a mistake, instead of saying mages rigged things for me.
Like to see this become a massacre.
What the hell was that smile back there? We agreed to help the mages not pay for Anders' meal.
Nothing gets Anders going like helping mage oppression, it seems anyways. Let's try to diplomatically solve things, shall we? I'm sure this won't immediately turn into a violent dungeon crawl like everything else has been so far.
Oh look, our first mage. Hello fellow spellcaster, would you like to help us make a spell tier list sequel? Oh okay, never mind, I guess you're just an average Oblivion necromancer.
Jokes on this bum mercy was never an option for the robes. Every mage is an assumed corrupted blood mage necromancer, unless proven otherwise or proven to be Morrigan.
So this is where I start pointing out problems with this quest. It was clearly set up as a diplomatic mission to try to talk and negotiate with the mages, and before we can even utter a word, this dude summons Redcliffe II in this cave. They couldn't even give a small cutscene to show that this guy is feral or something. They just went right into battle. Someone must have misunderstood what this quest objective was, When designing the enemies for the dungeon, this is a blatant example of miscommunication.
But true, but even the people we do talk to are mostly uncooperative, so I just think we should ignore Thrask's perspective on this. Or he should have debriefed us from the start that some of them are already lost to demons and desperation.
Leave it to Anders to feel sympathy for blood mages who just tried to kill us, bro. Might be an abomination, but he does not have that built-in survival instinct that he says all other demons have.
Well, to wrap up the variety of enemies on our hit list today, we have the undead mages to add to our kill counter today. It sucks we still don't have the Silverite runes to easily clap these things, but with our double chain lightning stocks, these things are easy money.
It feels like no matter what episode we are on, these left 4 dead skeletons are always here to add a little more variety to our gameplay. Enemy variety is on point in this episode. I think we have covered almost every weakness now, so our viewers have a guide.
Well, the enemy variety is better than the map variety because this is the same Qunari cave that Joe fought in during Black Powder Courtesy, which means this is the 3rd repeated map of the episode. And like the 5th repeated map overall, this Dragon Age 2 movie is about to be lit, boys.
Donald using lit is almost as old as me also. Hey, look, we found a mage who is willing to hold a conversation instead of summoning undead as a form of communication.
Bro wants to go back to the circle where he belongs. Maybe there is hope for this one yet. Might need a minor curb stomping, but he will come around.
Given his fear and his need to want to see his parents, I'm fairly certain Elaine is no older than 16, maybe even younger. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why he just surrenders to the Templars. No matter what we say to him here, bro, just wants an adult to tell him things are going to be all right.
I know Elaine is pretty young and just wants safety, but I'm pretty sure things don't go well for him even after he surrenders to the Templars.
Elaine here isn't aware of how strict the Circle is in Kirkwall. We can talk to him after this quest, and he will reveal that the Circle doesn't let him write or keep the letters to his parents. He also reports witnessing Templars physically beat mages for talking back to them.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
Donald, he's talking about wanting to see his parents. He's clearly a kid. Him being a teenager explains why, despite being loyal here, he eventually starts to have doubts over Meredith's and the Circle's leadership 9 years later.
See, he's a rat. Just like all the other robes, we should double chain lightning his ass now while we have the chance.
Yeah, we won't be doing that anyways. He mentioned Decimus here is deep in the Blood Mage Kool-Aid, so let's go deal with that.
Bro looks practically homeless. I don't know whether to fight him or give him a 5 after he washes my car.
The robe is tweaking. How the hell are 2 robes with giant mage sticks and the dwarf Templars? Hell, the only one that looks like a Templar is maybe Aveline, but she's not wearing the armor. I respect wanting the smoke, but at least be correct on who you're blowing smoke to.
Final boss against the homeless man for the episode. Let's see it, Barry.
Well, we got more undead and blood mages. So this is practically the first fight on steroids. Might as well go over some strategies on how to take out blood mages in this game while I cook.
Oh, hell yes, that's the hottest sentence. You've said all episode Obama.
Phrasing, please. Well, blood mages like to spam the same ability we get if we use blood magic ourselves, that being hemorrhage, basically this game's version of blood wound, but way weaker. Hemorrhage deals physical damage in area that has a brief paralyze, but also reduces the enemy's armor and resistance to 0 while in the hemorrhage range. This means even sword and shield tanks aren't safe here. The best strategy is to spread your party out and keep tabs on them, since the hemorrhage visual is hard to see. Mages themselves are weak to physical damage and immune to spirit damage, but have no elemental weaknesses, so they are probably the most simple enemies to counter. The spirit damage is far more rare.
Spamming horror works great on Bro too. But Barry, if mages are immune to spirit damage, why the hell are you using a spirit staff on Hawk right now?
You know, I really didn't notice I was using it honestly until you brought it up, Joe. That's a skill issue on my part. This episode has gone on too long, I think.
Damn, Obama, you get 1 death and suddenly you forget your type matchups. We might need to run some tests on you. Can you tell us who is the president right now?
Yeah, nice try, Donald. Not happening.
Girl really said, I know what you are. That's why your boyfriend doesn't know what a shower or a razor are.
Girl really is allergic to taking responsibility and acting like blood mages are an oppressed class. Let me sign an executive order real quick.
I told him once he marked himself.
You don't have a truck? You maybe have Honda Civic with the demons then?
For Joe, that's not what truck means. It's an Old English word, meaning having something to do with. This was used often in the 1800s, though, so it's weird to hear in a setting like this.
You are definitely older than the 1800s, Sleepy. How do you not know that?
Bro's going to be 80 next year and somehow still wants to call me old.
Ladies, please, that's enough. Well, the decision here is very similar to the Fenriel decision on both factors. Handing them to the Templars or letting them escape ends up not resolving anything for Grace, as she will end up in the Circle, regardless with a massive vendetta against us. The actual consequence of this decision decides what Act 2 side quest becomes available to you. If you hand them over to the Templars, you get the quest Bounty Hunter, where you can hunt down escaped mages for the Templars. If you kill the Templar Karis, you will get a letter in Act 2, which triggers Midnight Meeting, where Templars will spin the block on you in Hightown for killing their fellow Templar. Finally, if you go the Varric or Purple Hawk route and trick the Templars into leaving, you get access to the Underground Railroad quest line.
That's all well and good, but are we really about to turn these mages into the Templars right in front of Anders, no less?
Look, I'm against the Kirkwall Circle as much as the next guy, but my mercy ends once you start giving him energy for his blood magic spirit bomb in front of us, and then threatening to turn us in after killing us failed. Plus, Grace is no good, as we will see later on in this series. But that is only a small reason why I did this.
I'm still not down for this girl. Maybe deserves regular imprisonment in a normal circle, but not Kirkwall's circle, especially with Sir Ulrich running around unchecked.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem. I'm definitely not giving her a pass after she just threatened me she wants to go stew and plot revenge. So I'm giving her all the appropriate fuel to do that.
I know you're soft on the robes.
I like the way this guy thinks. Are you interested in a job in politics? I have an opening now after a horned guy fumbled the bag earlier in this episode.
I'm not surprised you want him as a yes man. This dude is just Donald with real hair and sideburns. We are really going to trust a group of mages to a dude who doesn't even know how to shave, let alone think critically.
I don't know what you mean, Sleepy. This guy seems like a fine, upstanding individual who has a healthy disdain for robes. Maybe you're just intimidated by his holy aura and willingness to get shit done.
Don't get me wrong, Karis is a complete asshole and likes to make people think he's the mustache-twirling villain of this story. If you keep him alive and talk to Elaine, he will mention Karis barged into his room, took his stuff, and threatened to make him tranquil, but he is all bark and no bite. He doesn't end up doing anything to Grace or Elaine because he's nothing more than a puppet who wants Meridith's approval. Honestly, him and Grace are both needlessly hostile. They deserve each other.
Bro said just make them tranquil. Why waste government money on a trial? Why the hell did Meredith promote Cullen and not this guy? He's got some big ideas.
All right, Donald is just lost in the sauce. I'm still suspicious of this Barry. Something tells me you did all this just for some Aveline approval.
I have no idea what you mean. I'm just role-playing my hawk that matches energy and has a little bit of justice to them. See, I even asked him to give them a trial. Well, with the last quest taken care of, all we have to do now is hand in the quest to Emmerich so he can start his Karen rampage of the guards.
Well, but first, of course, you have to grab just a little bit more lore to pad out the video.
And hey, it's about the Seekers. Of course, I got to shout out my girl Cassandra. Besides, it's hidden deep in this corner. Here, there's probably plenty of viewers who would miss it.
Barack, why would our viewers even care about that?
Because the lore of the Seekers go hard and it's good prep for Inquisition. Good experience, too. Also, we really just carried around some bones for the last couple of days. While we waited for a chance to hand them to Emmerich, I know that Pouch was smelly as hell.
Bro still can't take a joke, though. This feels like some surreal purgatory for Purple Hawks. Every small joke we make is met with him scolding us like he's our dad.
It's like the game is trying to teach you when it is and isn't okay to tell a joke to someone.
What's the outcome if we don't bother doing this quest in Act 2, Barack? If we didn't tell Emmerich his theory is right, wouldn't he just leave it be?
No, he essentially pulls a Aveline and does it himself. He simply acts far more formal with us, and we miss out on a few dialogue lines when we enter the foundry and recognizing the lilies.
So really, we could have just skipped this, and we went through all that extra demon nonsense and Barack railing an elf twink just for the dialogue enrichment.
That sounds like damn near half our content at this point, boys.
Yeah, well, when you hit your episode next time, you can feel free to enjoy all the gold and extra experience I earned and not interact with people as much as you like Donald. Before we wrap up, we've now grabbed 2 out of 3 of the herbalist tasks, so let's turn them in and get the quest to grab the iron bark, which you can grab next episode, Donald.
Wait, that means he has to go to the Dalish camp. I don't like that idea, after he just talked about going round 2 over there.
Nah, it's fine. We have to go to the Dalish camp anyway to grab the extra gold from the Keeper since you handed Fenryle off to the elves. Next episode, I will take care of the last amount of busy work so we can finally start the plot rolling on the Deep Roads expedition. So get ready to eat good next time, viewers, with the end of Act 1, and unlike the Democrats burning down your kitchen, I'm gonna do it deathless.
Well, if there's true justice out there, you will run into a skill check next episode to tie this death counter up.
For viewers, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave your comment question on what decision you would want to see imported into Dragon Age 2, as well as a like to thumb Joe's ass and a subscription to keep up to date when a new video is posted. We are extremely close to 4,000 subscribers, and we have big changes planned for the channel. When we reach 5,000, so subscribing would mean the world to us. If you want updates on videos, join Fox Discord in the description. And if you like President's content across the multiverse, make sure to join AI Force 1, where our editor is a verified creator, along with Game Producer 6 and Pokemon Presidents. But next episode, Donald will wrap up some Act 1 business and start the Deep Roads expedition, so stay tuned. But for now, stay safe. Obama out.